What are you doing in your space in terms of dealing with this particular challenge of unemployment?
I believe that young people need to learn how to be creative, number one, but creativity leads to entrepreneurship. So when you use both hemispheres of your brain, at school we're taught to use the left hemisphere of our brain, which is math, engineering, science, and sometimes we're not taught to use the right hemisphere of our brain, which is creativity, which is art, which is thinking outside the box, innovation. So as young people, once we can learn to see problems and be the solution to the problems in our communities, we have entrepreneurship. So now we're no longer all fighting for the same job. We now can become solution providers to the problems that we face as the young generation of Africa.
Right. But of course, the challenge has always been that young people have complained that we want to turn everybody into an entrepreneur. Do you feel that those concerns hold any water?
No, there is more than enough. There is more than enough. Look, I was a stock market trader, and then I realized from stock market trading that people were struggling with financial wellness, were struggling with financial literacy. I was able to take the information that I learned from a job on Wall Street and then be able to serve a subsect, a community of young people, young entrepreneurs who were struggling in their own finances and therefore struggle in managing their finances as businesses. So you can take whatever you learn anywhere and become an entrepreneur and serve a subsect or a niche in the community that you serve. So not necessarily at all.
Right. And the argument has always been that when you talk finances, it's always strange, it's always difficult, it's always tough. For someone who's watching this and says that I would love to be an entrepreneur, but avoid the mathematics, avoid the heavy terminologies as far as finances are concerned, do you think they can make it if they want to go that direction?
Of course, of course. Money is a very sacred energy, but also it's a part of our daily life. You can't do anything without money. So I say if you can count to 100, literally you can trade the stock market, you can run a very successful business, and you can buy food. Because money basically is energy, right? So when you give of your services, you accept money. When you want services, you get money. So we're already part of the money game. The math and the terminology and the jargon is just, it meant to confuse you a little bit. But firstly, you need to be confident within yourself. I can do this. And once you accept that you can do it, money becomes easy.
Right.
Yeah,
money
totally.
becomes easy, totally. Tembi, I want to hear your thoughts concerning the role of the regulators, the role of the financial institutions in handling this whole financial literacy issue, because there's been some arguments as well that they also make life difficult for even the ordinary citizens. When they're coming up with the financial statements for their countries, it's always just the jargons. It's always just the tough things. Why do we think that finances have to always be difficult? Is there anything that the policymakers or the financial institutions can do to make life easier for the public and for entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think sometimes even the policymakers don't even understand what they're talking about, right? Because we're all using these big words and we really don't even understand. So sometimes in our personal finances, as people who work in the financial markets, we are a mess. We're a hot mess. So here's what we can do. Firstly, as policymakers, as people who are in the financial services industry, just speak in simple terms. Money is money. Money is emotionally based. Money is a part of our daily life. Just make it simple. We don't need to talk about use all of this jargon. Just make it simple. Then you understand, and then I understand, and I feel confident to come into your bank and have a conversation without losing my self-esteem. Make it simple.
Make it simple. Talk to me a bit about what you're doing in your own spaces today to actually change the status quo.
I've been working with young entrepreneurs and teaching them basic financial literacy, budgeting. How much money do you have at the end of the month, at the beginning of the month? And how are you going to use that money to pay for food, to pay for rent, to pay for all of your basic needs? Not your wants, but your basic needs. Once you have your basic needs, now you can start saving to become a better entrepreneur. When you make money in your business, manage your cash flow, because without cash flow, your business is dead. So it's, yes, the financials of the budgeting and the saving and expanding our business through cash flow, but also the emotional aspect. Money makes us all crazy. It makes us go kind of crazy. So just teaching young people how to manage the emotions that go with money, the
Right.
anger, the fear, the joy, all of it all.
Right.
Yes.
But Tembi, they will argue with you and they'll tell you that you want me to save. Save what? I do not have even the money itself. Some of them are living from hand to mouth. I mean, check to check. I mean, so they'll say you're not being realistic when you say this.
Yes, true. Some of us are living in that space. But when we learn how to manage the anger around that money, that I am living hand to hand or hand to mouth, now we can find creative ways to make more money. When I grew up in a one-car garage, there was sometimes a week with no money. But I always used to know if I can buy 5 tomatoes, 10 tomatoes, and go and sell them to the neighbors, I would make more money. And from that money, I would have cash flow and I would be able to buy more with the profits that I make. So I believe that we have no money because we are sometimes unwilling to be creative. And we're always afraid of, what is somebody going to think if I'm selling tomatoes? I sold tomatoes, I sold onions, spinach, everything growing up so that I could make extra money. So it's more of a mindset issue than really a finance issue.
Right. Thank you so much.